So, we're here with Frank Iero and the Cellabration.
That's correct.
Careful on the spelling, right?
Yeah.
So we were just talking, you guys have been out for a week. Just had a nice day off. Where were you at on the day off?
About 20 minutes outside the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So north, I think. North from
So
the
you're
city.
doing a little book shopping? I saw you had a little
Yeah.
Kurt Vonnegut stuff in there.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. They had like actual, like not life size, of course, but like little ones, and then they had like little finger puppets as well. Too. I don't know why you would need a Kurt Vonnegut finger puppet, but like
I've seen those.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
Any particular favorite Vonnegut novel that you?
I mean, Slaughterhouse and Cat's Cradle, I think, are my two favorites. But I really love like his short stories as well.
Yeah.
Long Walk to Forever, I think, was incredible.
Do you read a lot when you're on the road?
I do. I think I tend to read more when I'm on the road because it's a little bit easier to read. Like, as opposed to, like, I have three kids at home, so like at that, like, there's nobody wants to hear that you're in the middle of a story. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so I do tend to read more on the road. Yeah.
You're right in the midst of a tour with Against Me, which is a pretty awesome tour for you guys.
What's funny is when I was finishing the record, their newest record had come out, and I listened to it and I was like, that's gonna happen, by the way. Every time like the front door opens or closes, it sounds like somebody just fell against the wall. So I was finishing up the, like, mixing and stuff like that, and I remember driving to a studio to have my brother-in-law Evan sing on one of the tracks, and it was like one of the last tracks that I finished for the record, and hearing that record, be like, oh my god, like, not only am I in love with this band all over again, but this is exactly the band that I would want to tour with if I would ever do this record, and now we're on tour, so it's kind of cool.
You've been pretty open and a great proponent of gay rights and so forth. And I think that what I've seen in our young generation is we're starting to jump that hurdle.
Right.
It's become a little bit more accepted amongst our young generation. And I think that our next hurdle is obviously transgender. Obviously, coming out with a band like Against Me and everything, you have a little bit of experience with that. Do you have any message maybe that you could send out to some young people that you just like that?
Well, for me, it just it's always been astounding how concerned people are with other people's happiness. And it's never been, gay rights or it's always just been like human rights to me. Like I hate that people can't just coexist and understand that whatever someone is or however they were born or whatever makes them happy has no effect on you and what you're doing. Just like some people's unhappiness needs to come out, and they need to put out anybody else's flame, and that's always been hard for me to swallow. I don't understand why that is. But as far as what I could say, I've never had to deal with that. Of course, I think it's probably universal. Like feeling, that being able to be comfortable in your own skin. And that's a struggle that I've had on my own, nowhere near anyone else's. But like, I guess if there was one thing I could say, it would be that find what fulfills you, what makes you happy. Find the thing that you're passionate about, and do it to death. And regardless of what anybody else says or what anybody else feels. There's only one you in the world, and it would be such an injustice to not have that you. Why try to be anybody else. Like, that shit's taken. Like, just, you have to be you, no matter what anybody tells you.
Great. Speaking of your music, I've listened to a lot of different, I guess, incarnations of Frank.
Right, yeah.
Done a lot of really cool stuff.
Thanks.
And a lot of different things, and I think that's why a lot of us are attracted to your music. How did you develop your voice? Not just your singing voice, but your voice as a musician.
I don't know. You know, I've always been I've always been lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time with certain things. I keep my ears open a lot, and when something catches my attention, when something catches my ear, I tend not to let go of it. You know, there's been quite a few projects where it's been friends. You know, I've been kind of starting something, and no matter what I'm doing at the time, I'm like, all right, well, I need to do this as well, and I've just, you know, dropped everything and done it. I've never tried to keep myself in a box with anything and thinking you know, things have to sound a certain way. I love just music and artistic expression, and I feel that if I don't try everything, that my heart will explode.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I was checking out some of the stuff on your website. It looked like you do a little bit of photography and stuff.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
I think I've always been an observer, and you know, it sounds weird. I think of myself as an observer and a collector. I collect anything and everything. I'm a horrible hoarder. My wife hates it about me, but I collect everything, and that was another way for me to collect memories and things that inspired me, was to, you know, I was you know, fascinated with that. Like, if I could hold on to this moment forever, you know, like if I could just take this snapshot and just keep it, you know. So that's what really got me into it, was just, you know, just see so much beautiful shit, you know, that I wanna keep and hold on to, and unfortunately my memory's terrible. So yeah, that's what got me into it.
I'm with you there. You talked a little bit about, you know, your wife, and you have beautiful kids, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
As much as I will blast Leather Mouth, I have found myself in love with B.F.F.
Oh, no shit, really? That's awesome.
I can't get the song out of my head. How were you inspired to write that?
Oh man, alright, well, the story goes is, I was writing, you know, just songs and stuff in my basement, like just making a lot of noise one day, and my kids were always like really interested in what does Daddy do down there, you know, and like I think Lily at one point was like, why is Daddy always in the basement yelling? Like, what is he doing there? And my wife was like, you know, he makes songs and stuff, and it kind of went over their heads. But I noticed one day that, you know, Lily had wrote a song, and she would sing this, you know, Best Friends Forever, but not now, like at the top of her lungs over and over again, like in her sister's face every time they fought. And I was like, that is genius. You know what I mean? Because I can't yell at you. But yeah, like, just, all right, can you like sing your song, but you have to do it like away from her face, like, you know what I mean? But she would like taunt her with it, and it was like the cutest thing in the world. So I was like, all right, well, the best way to show you what I do downstairs is like, let's do it together. And so her and I sat down on the guitar one day, and I figured out like what the chord voicings would be behind when she was singing, and then we kind of finished the song a little bit, and in the process, I ended up writing. We wrote theme songs for all the kids, so every kid has their theme song too, and that's for another day. Yeah, that's for another day. But so around this time we were doing that, and that's where I guess, you know, the songwriting came from. And we finished the song, and I thought it'd be really funny, you know, if we just got everybody on it, did that, and then when it was done, I was like, oh man, like, fuck this, like, we should just put out a single, like, and like, you know, put whatever it makes to their college fund. And once we did that, I was like, oh, we're making a fucking video. You know what I mean? And we did it in my basement and did everything on like a point and shoot, you know, and they released their first single at like 3.5. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, so the musicianship keeps going in your family.
I guess, yeah, I know. But at the same time, like, God help them if that's what they want to do with their lives. Like, I really hope they figure something else out.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, man. I hope that they're in tune with their own creativity and creative expression, because I feel like that's very fulfilling. It's also very self-deprecating, but it's very fulfilling at times. So I hope they have that, but I hope it's not their entire world. You know, I hope they have thicker skins than I have.
Gotcha. So you have some tremendous influence from the Misfits.
Yeah.
Played here.
Yeah.
Numerous amounts of times.
I can imagine. Yeah. Why is every Pittsburgh venue made out of an old church? I think it's awesome, but I just don't know why. It's kind of rad.
Did we get rid of all the churches? I guess? We have nothing to do with it.
That was such a good idea. It's such a good idea.
Yeah, we've got two great venues here.
Yeah.
That are old churches. Yeah.
Wonderful.
You share something in common with Doyle.
Okay. Oh, I'm not.
Or not vegetarian.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he's a little bit. Well, he's not as strict.
I think it'd be like his pectoral muscles. I was like, yeah, no.
Absolutely.
Totally kidding.
Arms.
So yeah, it's the biceps. Oh man, it's funny. There's a couple of degrees of separation. My, I guess, cousin-in-law has played in Doyle's band a bunch, and I think where they live is not far from where I'm living now, and also where they started in Lodi was not far from where I grew up, and where their parents' machine shop is and stuff like that is not far from where I reside. But yeah, I mean, you can't come from Jersey and not have been. Yeah, you have to. And I mean, you can't come from anywhere and love punk rock music and not love Misfits, you know what I mean? But especially coming from where we came from, like that was always, you know, that was the badge of courage, you know, kind of thing. Like that was your flag, you know. Yeah. And so yeah, as far as like you know, vegetarianism and veganism and stuff like that, I'm more. I wish I was stricter with dietary restrictions and stuff like that, because my stomach is horrible. I try to eat so that I don't feel nauseous and sick at all times. I've gone back and forth. If I could describe myself in a word, it would be unenjoyable. So anything that's enjoyable, I can't have. But I think if I were to be strict vegan and like gluten-free and stuff like that, I'd probably feel a lot better all the time. There's a diet that makes like a frozen pizza that's fucking awesome. Yeah, vegan cheese and gluten-free, and it's really, really good. So.
I'll have to check that out. So the record Stomach Aches is now for almost a year now.
Almost, yeah.
Are you itching to get back in the studio?
Yeah.
The studio?
I'm not avoiding it. I'm definitely not avoiding it. I'm writing a lot. And I probably have maybe at least a phone's worth of voice memos of stuff that I think I want to make. I don't know what the studio would be for us. I don't know if it would be just me again. You know, I don't know what that would entail. I'd like to kind of figure that out and then get into it. But it's weird, like, you know, after every tour we're on, all right, well then, you know, we'll do this tour and then we'll go home and then we'll write and record, and then we get a tour and it's like, oh, that sounds like it'd be really fun to do. So that keeps happening, which is a great problem to have. You know what I mean? But we already turned down something that I really wanted to do for October in order to do stuff. So hopefully that comes to fruition. Yeah.
So you got some cool stuff. I think July 20th, you go out on your own, right, with Homeless Gospel Choir?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it's actually who's from here, of course. Derek's he's a Pittsburgh native. And he's on tour right now, I think, with Anti-Flag right now. And, sorry, I interrupted you. But yeah, we finished this tour, and to come home, we're going out, Derek's going to fly and meet us, and then we come home, and then we're home for a couple weeks. weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, and then we do Reading and Leeds. We got like a couple Irish dates we're doing since we missed it the last time. And then there's a couple of things here and there brewing, but hopefully most of September and October is writing and recording. We'll see.
That's awesome. Well, it's good to see you busy, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It's been great to watch your trajectory and